everyone, welcome to the Introduction to Integers guided notes. Let's get started. Integers are positive and negative whole numbers. For example, -3, -2, -1, 0, 1, 2, 3, etc. Integers are used in a variety of places in the world around us. Let's first look at how they are used with elevation. If you are at a place with an elevation of 0, then that means you are at sea level. Scenario 1. Let's say you walked up a small hill and now you are 5 feet above sea level. This is represented by an elevation of 5. Scenario 2. Let's say you are at sea level and you walk down a small hill and you are at 5 feet below sea level. This is represented by an elevation of -5. How much did you walk in both scenarios? In both scenarios, I walked 5 feet. How come one is represented by an elevation of 5 and the other is represented by an elevation of -5? The signs indicate the direction your elevation changed. One elevation went up while the other elevation went down. Let's look at how integers are used with temperature. The freezing point for degrees Celsius is 0 degrees. Scenario 1. The temperature is 0 degrees Celsius. As the sun warms up the air, the temperature increases 10 degrees. The thermometer now reads 10 degrees Celsius. Scenario 2. The temperature is 0 degrees Celsius. As the storm rolls in, the temperature drops 10 degrees. The thermometer now reads -10 degrees Celsius. How much did the temperature change in both scenarios? In both scenarios, the temperature changed 10 degrees. How come one temperature is represented by 10 and the other temperature is represented by -10? The signs indicate the direction the temperature changed. One temperature went up while the other temperature went down. Just a note. Notice that when we represent a negative number, we write the negative in front of the number. However, when writing a positive number, we do not need to write the positive sign plus. It is assumed the number is positive if there is no negative sign. Practice. Sean is at sea level. He walks down 15 feet. What is his elevation now? His elevation would be -15. Sally is at sea level. She walks up 15 feet. What is her elevation now? Her elevation would be +15. The temperature starts at 0 degrees Celsius and increases 13 degrees. What is the temperature on the thermometer now? It would be 13 degrees. The temperature starts at 0 degrees Celsius and decreases 13 degrees. What is the temperature of the thermometer now? The temperature would be -13 degrees Celsius. The elevation of Death Valley in California is -282 feet. What does this mean? This means that Death Valley is 282 feet below sea level. The elevation of Mount Whitney in California is 14,505 feet. What does this mean? This means that Mount Whitney is 14,505 feet above sea level. Remember, the negative sign represents the opposite of a number. The opposite of 8 is -8. The opposite of 4 is -4. The opposite of 25 is -25. What do you think the opposite of -10 would be? Well, it would be the positive, so that would be +10. Explain your reasoning. -10 and 10 are both the same distance from 0, just in opposite directions. We can write the opposite of -10 like this. So if we have -10, we're going to write the opposite of -10 with another negative sign. We're going to use parentheses so it doesn't get confusing. How would you write the opposite of -7? Well, the opposite of -7. How would you write the opposite of -15? The opposite of -15. The opposite of 0, well, that would actually be 0. That's the one number where the opposite number is itself. What is the opposite of 30? -30. What is the opposite of 4? -4. What is the opposite of -35? 35. What is the opposite of -18? 18. What is, and then it says negative, -5. So we can read that as the opposite of -5. The opposite of -5 would be 5. What is -29? Well, that would be the opposite of -29, which would be 29. And what is the opposite of 0? 0. Let's look at integers on a number line. The negative sign helps to tell direction. If you are standing at the number 0 on the number line and you are only told to move 3 spaces, you would not know which direction. If you are told to move 3 spaces to the right, then you would know where to go. Write a 3 under the line 3 spaces to the right. So if we're at 0, we're going to go 1, 2, 3. So this is going to be a 3. If you were told to move 3 spaces to the left, then you would know where to go. Since you moved to the left, write a -3 under the line 3 spaces to the left. So if we're at 0, we are going to go 1, 2, 3 spaces to the left. So this will be a -3. How far is 3 away from 0? It is 3 spaces. How far is -3 from 0? It is also 3 spaces. The negative sign tells us to move in the opposite direction. Finish numbering the number line at the top of the page. So we have 0 in the middle, then we have to the right 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and back to 0 in the middle going to the left. We have -1, -2, -3, -4, and -5. What number is 5 spaces to the right of 0? Well, that would be +5. What space is 5 spaces to the left of 0? That would be -5. Plot the following points on the number line above. Our first number is 3.5. So if we start at 0, we have 1, 2, 3.5 would be about right there. Then we have the number -2, -1, -2, right there. And that one's already labeled. We'll just put a dot there to plot it. -4.5. So starting at 0, -1, -2, -3, -4. And then we need to move 1/2 more. So right here, -4.5. Next, we have the number 1. That is already plotted. We'll just put a point there. And the number -0.5. So starting at 0, we are just going to move 1/2 to the left, right there, -0.5. Vertical number lines are also commonly used. The points above 0 will be positive. The points below 0 will be negative. Finish numbering the number line. So we have 0. The points above 0 will be positive. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. And the points below 0 will be negative. -1, -2, -3, -4, and -5. What number is 2 spaces above 0? That would be 2. What number is 2 spaces below 0? -2. What number is 1.5 spaces above 0? 1.5. And what number is 1.5 spaces below 0? -1.5. Plot the following points on the number line above. -2.5. So if we are at 0, we're going to go down 2 and then another half. So -2.5 is going to be right there. The number 3 is already labeled. We'll just put a point there to plot it. The number 3.5. So up 3 and then another half. So right there, 3.5. The number -5, we can see it down here at the bottom. Number -5 and -4.5. So down 4 plus another half is going to be right here, -4.5. If we intersect a horizontal and vertical number line, we create what is called a coordinate plane. The number lines intersect at the number 0. Write this number on the coordinate plane below. So right here, it's going to be right here in the middle, 0. So notice we have this vertical number line here, and then the horizontal number line here. And they intersect here in the middle at 0. The horizontal number line is called the x-axis. So this right here, the horizontal number line, we will also call it the x-axis. The vertical number line is called the y-axis. Label the number lines above with the correct names. Right here, this horizontal number line is called the x-axis, and the vertical number line is called the y-axis. Since two number lines are used to create a coordinate plane, you will need 2 points to be able to plot on the coordinate plane. The first coordinate is for the x-axis. The second coordinate is for the y-axis. So you will see it like this, x, comma, y with parentheses. If the x-axis is negative, then you will move to the left of 0, because on the number line, the negatives are to the left of 0. If the y-axis coordinate is negative, then you will move down from 0, because on the vertical number line, the negatives are below or down from 0. To plot the point -3, 4, first move left 3 spaces on the x-axis, then move up 4 spaces on the y-axis. To plot the point 2, -1, first move right 2 spaces on the x-axis, then move down 1 space on the y-axis. Practice. Plot and label the following points on the coordinate plane below. So our first one is A, which is 3, 5. So if we're at 0, we're going to go 3, 1, 2, 3, and then 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. The point will be right there. Next one, you start at 0. It is -1, -4. So go to the left to -1, and then down to -4. This point is -1, -4. C, -2, 3. So we will go to the left to -2 and up to 3. This is the point -2, 3. 3, -2. So we will go to the right 3 and down -2. This is the point 3, -2. 0, -4. So zeros, we stay in the middle, then we would go down 4 right here. This is the point 0, -4. 5, 0. So we will go over 5 and then stay at 0. So not up or down, we'll just stay there. This is the point 5, 0. Each section of the coordinate plane is called a quadrant. The quadrants are numbered with Roman numerals. The quadrant in which both coordinates are positive will be quadrant number 1. The quadrants are then numbered counterclockwise. Number the quadrants on the coordinate plane below. So starting with the numbers that are both positive will be in this top right. That will be quadrant number 1. Then we are going to go counterclockwise, so this direction. So we have number 2, quadrant 3 here at the bottom, and then quadrant 4. And we label it with Roman numerals, 1, 2, 3, 4. If you want, you can use our numbers to write them in there just so it's a little bit more clear. 1, 2, 3, 4. Then we are given points and we need to write what quadrant is that point in. So -3, -10. So over -3, down -10 would be quadrant 3. 12, -2. So positive 12, down -2 would be quadrant 4. -15, 8. So left to the negatives and up to the positives. That would be quadrant 2. 12, 3, right positive, up positive. Quadrant 1. Now we are given quadrants and I need to write points that would fit in that. So quadrant 1 would be positive and a positive. So 2 positive numbers. Let's just say 3, 4. Quadrant 2, that would be a negative and a positive. We'll say -3, 4. Quadrant 3 would be a negative and a negative to the left and down. We will say -3, -4. Quadrant 4 is positive to the right, down, negative. So a positive, then a negative. So we will say 3, -4. Point 0, -8. If I am here at 0 and then I'm going to go down -8. Where am I? I am on the y-axis. 17, 0. So to the right, 17, and then I will stay there because it's 0, and I am on the x-axis. Graph the points 3, 4, and 3, -4 on the coordinate plane below. So let's do that. 3, 4 will be to the right 3, up 4. 3, -4 will be to the right 3, down 4. 3, -4. Notice that these points are the same distance from the x-axis. So right here, they are the same distance from the x-axis and the same distance from the y-axis. See that? Same distance from the x-axis and same distance from the y-axis. Graph the points 4, 2 and negative 4, 2 on the coordinate plane below. So 4, 2 would be over 4 up 2 right there. And negative 4, 2 to the left 4 and then up 2 would be right there. Again, notice that these points are the same distance from both axes. So right there, the same distance, and then right here, the same distance. Since the points only differ by sign, meaning they're the same numbers, just one is positive and one is negative, the distances from the origin will be the same. Practice. Graph two different points that are the same distance away from the origin. Write your 2 points here. All right, so let's graph this point right here. So that point will be 2 over 2 up 3. And now let's go this other direction. Let's go over 2 up 3 again, but we'll go to the left. So we'll graph this point and this point. My blue point is the point 2, 3. My pink point is the point negative 2, 3. Identify the following points. A point that lies on the y-axis. Remember, the y-axis is my vertical number line. Let's say this point right here. This point would be 0 because I don't go anywhere horizontally first. I only go down negative 2. So 0, negative 2. A point that lies on the x-axis. So let's say this point right there. That's going to be 4, 0. A point in quadrant 4. This is quadrant number 1, and then I go in the counterclockwise direction. 1, 2, 3, 4. So somewhere in this quadrant, I need a point. Let's just pick one. Let's do this point right here. So that's 2, negative 3. 2, negative 3. Now I need a point in quadrant 3. That's this quadrant right here. Let's pick this point. So starting at 0, that's going to be negative 4, negative 2. To the left and down, negative 4, negative 2. Now it's asking for a point in quadrant 2. That is this section right here. So I will need to start at 0 if I'm going left and then up. So let's do negative 2, 5. A point in quadrant 1. This will be quadrant 1 right here. So starting at 0, we do the x-axis first, go over 3, up 2. We'll do this point, 3, 2. Okay, everybody, that's it for today. Thank you.